Hello there, welcome to my Paragon Guide. I am Sylphin, and in this video we are taking a look at the skills, abilities, and starter decks of Lieutenant Bellica. A quick note before we start, I will refer to as Lieutenant Belisha from here on out. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are taking a look at Lieutenant Belisha. In my opinion, she is going to work better for you as a caster. She is a burst caster with a sort of support kind of twist thrown in. Make sure that you toggle off the suggestions and take right away a Magus ward and equip it right there. Now, as was already mentioned, she is a burst caster, and we are going to treat her as such, somebody with a lot of damage and with a little survivability as well. She has some stuns, she can drain mana, so there is a support side to her that we will try to acknowledge as well. The very first ability that I'm going to say you go for is her Q. It's called Seismic Assault. It's a line of energy that knocks up, deals 53.25 energy damage, and applies a 1-second stun. Why are we getting this? Simply because we don't want to get caught out and die here in the early game. Now, we got a ward, the Magus ward, and as you can see, I'm going up here and placing it on the other side, up high. Now, two reasons for that. On the other side of that little ridge there, so that this Murdoch can't easily attack it and kill it, and on the up high, so that melee heroes can't attack it as well. Now, all what you want to do here, ladies and gentlemen, is focus on last hits. Stay in lane, be safe, only hit the target minions when they are very low in health, trying to get those last hits. The second ability we are going to go for is her right click, called Void Bomb, or your circle if you are on your right trigger if you were on PS4. It is an AoE bomb that detonates after 2.25 seconds, dealing 85.2 energy damage. Restores 10 mana for each enemy hit. Very good ability to clear waves, and really when you are in lane, a very good ability to use, as it doesn't quite give you all of the mana back for using the ability, but it does. It is a very easy ability to use and get good damage off on the minion wave. If the minion wave is running towards you, place it so that it is completely in front of the wave, and by the time that the wave walks into it, it will go off. Remember, there is that 2.25 second delay, and don't be afraid to use your Q as well to deal damage in a line, which is very, very easy to do. Third ability we're going for here is the Void Drone. It is a very good ability that deals damage to enemies when they use an ability. It's an AoE that drains 2 mana per second from enemies, deals 83 energy damage if they use an ability and are in that area. Lasts for 20 seconds. In my experience, it's actually best to try to use it when the enemy is just starting an engagement, like just before they're going to start an engagement, and try to put it in an obscure place. Putting it right in front of everybody so that they can see it will not work very well. They will simply kill it, and they can relatively quickly. Now, we have reached level 5. At level 4, I chose to upgrade our stun, because that is going to definitely enable us to secure kills much easier here. It increases the damage, increases the stun duration, and as well increases its damage, increases the stun duration, and reduces the cooldown. Very, very good ability to upgrade first. Keep you alive quicker and more often. Now, your ultimate there that you just saw me use on that Murdoch is, which we'll explain in just a moment, 6 card power. Go ahead, get a cast and a mana upgrade here, and that will work very nicely here in this Magus ward. Next, we're going to get a health potion just to make sure that we stay alive, enable us to stay in lane and get card power as much as possible. Now, as you can see here in this right lane, we have 3 people here on the allied team. Now, my role here is to, once there is a good pick here, if this Rampage were to get a good pick on the enemy here, I'm going to actually engage myself, see what I can do here on that Murdoch. Now, what I was trying to do there was get him, nuke him down fairly quickly in terms of his health, and make it so that when we do engage here, I can quickly eliminate a target like that, so that we can make our Rampage easier to... Oh, but he does get taken down here by the tower. Hopefully that was clear in what we are trying to do. We are trying to make sure that we can burst down a target that has been singled out. So if that Rampage, say, were to make sure that his stun hits somebody and makes them low health, then we identify that target and take them out. I just realized we did not talk about her ultimate. It is quite powerful, as you saw there, being able to take out that Kallari very easily. It is called Neural Disruptor. Deal 138 energy damage plus an additional 0.75 per point of target's missing mana. So at the end of an engagement, preferably you have used, your other abilities, especially your right click, to deal damage, and you use that along with all of your other abilities to quickly eliminate a target with that burst damage that you see. Really, that's quite it. Use that E, put it off to the side at the beginning of an engagement, so that when people use their abilities, they are punished for it. And really, that's about it. 9 card power, ladies and gentlemen, will be very, very nice here. Looks like there's a little bit of a bug there for that health potion. There we go. We're going to finish off this Magus Ward and then go into a Wellspring Staff. You want the one with mana on it. You can see here there's 2 points of two 2-point mana upgrades. Want to get that, put it in this second slot. The reason why we're going for this mana, casters have issues, if you haven't noticed already, in the early game with their mana. So now that we have that, we can certainly be using our abilities more often, making sure that we apply that burst damage to the enemy heroes. And it's a surprising happenstance when you can burst somebody down, get them to half health or even a little bit less, and you can, more often than not, end up eliminating your target with your ultimate at the end there to take them out. Next, 3 card power, ladies and gentlemen, finishing off this Wellspring Staff. We have a ton of damage and a ton of mana. We can use all of our abilities now to really, really nuke down the enemy here. The enemy, Aegean Scorch, is a perfect target for us. Usually they have tons of a large mana pool, and when he starts really setting down those 3 turrets, he's going to be getting low on mana. Remember that your Neural Disruptor, every time that it increases in level, you actually increase that ratio of damage to point of targets of missing mana. So he's going to have to be really careful. The more he uses his abilities, the more vulnerable he will be. You'll have to be really careful with how exactly he engages on me. As you can see here, using our right click to give a lot of damage on the enemy, and it's going to be quite nice here, especially with somebody like Aegean Scorch, to drain their mana. So we have just been in lane Lieutenant Belisha is a great laner, great lane bully. 6 more card power, ladies and gentlemen, going into our Blink Charm. This is a bit of a difference here for me in this beginner's guide. A Blink Charm is a not so beginner item, but what it does do is it enables you to teleport a fair distance, ladies and gentlemen, a fair distance to hopefully safety. Now, I definitely recommend that that is exactly how you use this card for safety purposes. What you don't want to do is use it as a offensive tool. You certainly can, and if there is a moment where you can use it offensively, make sure that it is very, 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 very worthwhile. You don't want to screw yourself over really with it. So what you want to do is use it very, very defensively, so that the enemy is forced to is forced to chase after you, to that. Don't be afraid to use it, but do so at very key moments. You do not want to waste it. For card power, ladies and gentlemen, it's now we go into the Elder Mage Amulet. What this is going to do is give us a good amount of health that we will definitely need to be that little bit of a support that Belisha naturally is. It'll be very nice to have that health, as we have died once here. We're taken out quite easily. So here is an example, ladies and gentlemen, of nuking down the enemy. Was very much able to totally decimate that Kallari there, and was able to push this lane. Now I have to escape somehow through the enemy jungle. 10 card power because of that split push there on the right side, able to easily finish off this Elder Mage Amulet. 700 health is just the amount that you need to start being able to actually mathematically improve your effective health by armor. This build doesn't have any. That's okay. It's a starter build. After this Elder Mage Amulet, we're going into the Wellspring Staff. All damage with just a touch of mana. At this point, we can really use all of that mana to, now that we can hopefully stay alive longer with all of that mana that we do already have, we can do a ton of burst damage. Okay, so let's 1v1 a. Oh my goodness. Didn't go too well. I had used my right click, which is your Void Bomb, and then your Stun to hopefully keep that Kallari in that bomb's way, doing massive amounts of damage with those two abilities. After that, hopefully she would have been low enough, so we used our ultimate to completely decimate them. I pushed that right lane up with the black buff that gives you bonus damage to towers and structures, so now that that tower is done for, we are going to be spending a lot more time with our allies. 9 card power here. Wellspring Staff, fully upgrade this. Now move on to the Staff of the Adamant, which again has all damage. There is one that has a little bit of health, but we're going to save that for later. What we're going to save that for later is replacing our Blink Charm, but only if we are being guarded very nicely. If our team is doing a very good job of protecting us, if we are staying alive in these engagements, then we don't really need the Blink Charm. Or if you feel like more damage and a little bit of health would be better than the Blink Charm, go ahead and replace that Blink Charm by that second Staff of the Adamant with health on it. Here is a oh, and we do get that stun, but wow, there are a ton of There are a ton of enemies here. I'm going to try to use this here. Let's see if we can get the stun. Yes, we can, and there is the complete decimation of that Iggy and Scorch. Trying to defend this inhibitor, because the inhibitor is much more important than that tower in the mid lane. Whoo! So you can see there's a whole ton of minions hitting us there, and with that 600 extra health and that little bit here, or the 700, sorry, so 800 total health kept us alive there. Now that we have 3 card power, again, going into this Staff of the Adamant for more damage. 6 card power, ladies and gentlemen, after a great push up that mid lane. Now we finish off the Staff of the Adamant, and at this point, it's up to us. Do we get this Staff of the Adamant to replace our Blink Charm? Because we will have extra card power, but it's really up to us. I feel like in this game currently, I need that Blink Charm to get away from this Greystone and the Kallari that are doing really good jobs of jumping onto us. We don't really want them to do that, so we're going to keep it and use it when they both engage hard. Kallari has obviously her natural stealth to jump onto us, but also she has her ultimate. So when she uses her ultimate to engage, we can blink away. When the Greystone uses his leap, we can use our Blink Charm to get away. It's all about bursting down the enemy. So using your right click, using your stun to keep them in that void bomb, and then you can use your ultimate once all of that has done its work to nail them. And we were unfortunately defeated. Good team play by the enemy members. They did a great job in some key team fights. We arguably should have been with our team a little bit more there. There's some key fights where we're just a little too late. So there is the build, ladies and gentlemen. Starting off with the Magus Ward into the Wellspring Staff with the mana, the Blink Charm to help us get away, Elder Mage Amulet for that health, Wellspring Staff with all of that damage, Staff of the Adamant with all of that damage, and then, if you so choose, that Blink Charm can be replaced by that other Wellspring Staff of the Adamant, sorry. There is the guide, ladies and gentlemen. Basically, burst combo, making sure to land that stun while the enemy is inside of your void bomb to make sure that all of that nukes happen. Your basic attacks will actually do quite a significant amount of damage, so don't discount those either. And of course, once all of that has happened, you finish them off with your ultimate. When you are using your Void Drone, make sure to try to place it off to the side, make it a little bit inconspicuous at the very start of a team fight. Right when they are starting to use their very first abilities, before then, throw that out, make sure that you get that crazy damage that it actually does if the enemy is using a lot of abilities. Please like this guide if you like it, dislike if you dislike it, share this with the community so that people can learn, and of course, subscribe. If you like this content, found it useful, please subscribe so I can do it for you again in the future. Till next time, like I always say, stay optimistic and positive.